Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the One-on-One Sports Webcast. I'm John Roddy.
And I'm Ryan Meisinger. It is a brisk October evening, perfect for some NLDS baseball and some warm apple fritters. But first, here are your quick hitters. 2 weeks ago, Michigan decided to continue playing their quarterback, Shane Morris, in a losing effort to Minnesota, even though he exhibited concussion-like symptoms. Students are now protesting for the resignation of athletic director Dave Brandon for the mishandling of Morris, and also for the Wolverines' current stretch of poor performances. John, do you think this would be as big of an issue if Michigan was playing good football right now?
No, and especially not for the students, because all the students care about is winning, and all they want to do is brag to their friends on Facebook and Twitter about the Michigan Wolverines being the best team in the nation. But I think this all started back in 2007 when a lowly D2 FBS team, App State, went into the Big House and shocked the Wolverines. You know, that is the demise of the Michigan Wolverines.
It's a matter of Michigan just going through rough times right now.
Yeah.
And Dave Brennan admitted that it was his mistake. There was a serious miscommunication. Actually, Dave Brennan said that the quarterback injured himself, his ankle, in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, they couldn't see that he fell because of a big hit, and they thought that he fell because of his ankle, and that was
classic.
it.
No, that's the classic coach's excuse.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's under scrutiny for not a lot.
And it's not. It's really just. It's come from Michigan doing so poorly, and then this string of events happens. The coach decides, oh well, what else can go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, you're not happy if you're a Michigan fan.
Yeah, well, you're not happy. Yeah, and now the concussion on top of it, you're under the spotlight for the wrong reasons. It's just a bad situation. During LeBron's first stint as a Cavalier, the Cavs and Wizards faced in 3 straight first-round playoff series between 2006 and 2008, stirring up a rivalry. That rivalry might be starting up again this season. Recently, Wizards guard Bradley Beal declared that John Wall and himself are the league's best backcourt duo. However, Cavs guard Dion Waiters took exception to this, saying Kyrie Irving and himself are the better duo. Will this small battle in the media revive this rivalry on the court this season?
You know, it's not about the media with this. Agreed. It is about the hardwood, and that's it. Mm-hmm. It's not taking anything from Stephen A. Smith or anyone in ESPN, anyone speaking anything about basketball. It's LeBron James. It is the entire Wizards roster. It's the entire Cavs roster.
And it's
It's Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
That rivalry going back up with LeBron James.
And both teams are finally relevant again.
Yeah.
And it's actually good to see that these two small markets are actually relevant because they've been basically in the lower depths of the NBA for the past couple of years. Back when Gilbert Arenas was around, back when LeBron and Anders and Varejao,
Big Z. How did LeBron? Well, Big Z, he's still with Varejao. They have Varejao manning the middle, which could be a problem for the Cavs. That being said, how did LeBron get all these players to come with him to Cleveland?
Unbelievable.
He had his arsenal from Miami to just follow him up on a plane.
I feel like everyone's also forgetting about Kevin Love, who I think is the most important player on the Cavaliers this year. It's someone that the Heat didn't have, a big man. And I feel like the backcourt isn't really as much of an issue as they're saying it to me.
Two-time U.S. Olympian Hillary Knight skated with the Anaheim Ducks on Friday in an effort to raise the profile on women's hockey. Knight is the first non-goalie to do so, and the coach, along with the Ducks players, were reportedly extremely impressed with Knight. John, in your opinion, how significant is this in spreading women's hockey and making it relevant?
It's not. It's not relevant. And I'm not saying women's hockey isn't relevant.
Isn't enough.
I'm not saying that women's hockey is not relevant. But just because you're skating with the Anaheim Ducks doesn't mean that women's hockey, the entire sport, is now relevant.
I mean, are people making a big deal out of this? Because if they are, they shouldn't be.
No.
What is there to make a big deal out of this with this?
Well, there's a difference between news and novelty. And this, I think, is more on the novelty
It's
side.
Absolutely novelty, and there's no reason that this should be made something big.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I remember a couple years ago, Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco had a trial with Sporting Kansas City in Major League Soccer. People made a big deal about that. It was just him training. There was nothing to it.
And you're the only person in this entire studio who remembers that.
Exactly.
And we
Who's going to remember this?
We might be the only people in the world, or in the USA, who will remember this because we are covering it right now. So, This past weekend, LA Galaxy star Landon Donovan became the lone MLS all-time assists and goal leader. This Friday, the American legend will play his final game for the Stars and Stripes against Ecuador. Ryan, what will you remember most about Landon Donovan's career?
I hate to say it. I would love to go and say that the things that he did in the World Cup, or the things that he's done for the Gold Cups, and all of his accolades. But I have to say, I'll remember most of Landon Donovan's career is Jurgen Klinsmann telling him, you are not allowed to come with us to present. Are you kidding me, Jurgen Klinsmann? Don't tell Landon Donovan, the pride of American soccer, that he can't come to the World Cup. Don't tell me that he can not contribute more than, excuse me, Brad Davis?
Yeah, Brad Davis. I mean, hey, I am a full supporter of Jurgen Klinsmann, except for this one decision. My biggest moment would have to be the obvious choice, the 2010 goal versus Algeria in the World Cup.
It was magical.
To win the United States a group for the first time in World Cup history, I watched it about 20 times before I came here, and I almost started crying. Say what you want about that, but that was probably one of the greatest sporting moments I've ever seen.
It doesn't
in my
seem
entire
real,
life.
even when you go back and watch it now.
Unbelievable. That's all the time we have for the Quick Hitters, but stay tuned as I will join our MLB analyst to talk about all the craziness happening in the MLB playoffs. Stick around.